Good morning. How are you today? Well, yes, we're in the 30s here, so I'm wearing a hat and my ears are cold. I don't think I'll be skiing anytime soon because I can't imagine being in a chairlift or getting to the place to ski. But hands and ears are the first to go for me on a slope. I'm not a great skier, sort of like standing up sledding is the way I think of it. But it really is invigorating to do it. The thing I miss most is being able to swim. That's my favorite sport, but it's on hold until we can get around again. On that score, I'm a little concerned about the vaccines in this sense. Pfizer came out first, and they have a challenge because of the temperatures that have to be maintained very cold for the 2 shots that you have to get. And only days ago, they had a 90% effective rate. Now they have a 95% effective rate, which I guess is combative with the second set of vaccines that's coming out. So, not that I would be the first one online anyhow, but I am concerned when those numbers sound more economically marketplace competitive than it seems to me can be justified in such a short period of time. If it was 95% originally, that would be one thing. But to say that it's 95% now, that's distressing. In terms of what Rudy is doing, Rogue Rudy, several people have asked me to comment about it. And I was lucky enough to be in several places that helped me figure out how one should conduct oneself as a lawyer. Being a prosecutor, being a law clerk, and a midtown law firm in New York that had some outstanding senior lawyers there that I work with. And I think that's where my writing got sharper, as good as I think it may have been before that. But what I learned is, there are some cases in which somebody can hand you a file and you have to walk in a courtroom and brief yourself as quickly as possible and say something because you don't get another chance to do so. But this election question is not that kind of case. The best you could do would be to go into court and say, maybe I need more time. Rudy Giuliani, on the other hand, he went into court without reviewing the law and the nuance of it, without considering the defects in their amended complaint only filed days ago that had mathematical inconsistencies as to the number of votes, legal inconsistencies. But he wasn't ready to challenge any of those to give himself credibility with the judge. He also couldn't say that there was fraud. And he talked about 800,000 votes should be changed. He talked about 1 million votes should be changed. But the document that he was arguing from had a relatively small number as compared to the gap of 70,000 plus votes between Biden and Trump. So he was in a position where he couldn't possibly come out well as an advocate. And I think also that how he self-branded himself outside the courtroom put him in a position of starting from way back in left field, trying to define himself as a person that you should be persuaded by. It didn't help. He hasn't been in a courtroom in 3 decades, apparently. That is a federal courtroom. And I think if his habit, his normal daily life, was closer to what one does when one assimilates facts and law and makes argument, I'm not sure that would be a big deficit. But he went into court and he talked to them like he was at some Trump rally instead. And the judge questioned him closely and got him to admit there was no fraud. The judge plainly, according to observers, just couldn't make any sense out of him from time to time. And the counsel for the other side had even less charming things to say about Rudy, and I think legitimately so. The result was that the judge let the argument go on into the evening, and he was going to have a hearing of evidence on Thursday, and he's canceled that. And that kind of telegraphs where he's going. He doesn't need to hear fact witnesses. He's heard enough. but he's given the parties an opportunity to submit paper, and I guess on Friday he's going to make a judgment. And the Supreme Court in Pennsylvania made a judgment that there really was no problem about the observers of the case, and that's a whole chunk of the case that's before this other judge that has Rudy appearing before it. So I called it a confederacy of dunces when I was with Ari the other day, and it is. And some lawyers, out of fear for holding on to their license and feeling that they've been caught with fraudulent claims, and perhaps they did it for the dinero. And by the way, Rudy Giuliani thinks he's worth $20,000 a day. And I'm not saying nobody's worth that, but not the way he's doing it. He's not doing the kind of discipline and the kind of thing that persuades a court. Meanwhile, we have two paths that are narrowing for Trump, but not quick enough. One is the reassurance that we're not going to be involved in some foreign adventure, and perhaps it won't be Iran, but withdrawing the troops in the Middle East is a big mistake. And the second is at home. So like foreign and domestic, Trump is compromising us by doing nothing. If you've noticed, it looks like he's let his hair go gray, and there's nothing wrong with that. But he's not wearing makeup. He's letting his hair go gray. He's golfing, and he's not doing his job. And there is a way to do his job. And if he rededicated himself in the final hours to transition and cooperation, I guess he feels he would give up those ditto heads who are comfortable with a president who is a brute and amoral. And that is our fight, that we have to put an end to that. So I ask you all to stay warmer than I am, but if you go out, bundle up, try to get some relaxation, and spend a couple of bucks. I know some of you have already told me you have. It feels, and maybe I'm a victim of the optimism of others, but it feels like Democrats have a serious chance in Georgia, and that'll make a big difference for the next 4 years. But the biggest difference for the next 4 years is that Biden and Harris will be running the executive branch, and that's going to be refreshing. So take care of yourself. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.